Hello, Internet! Shoutcast here, and it's time for another episode of Arena Time here on ShoutStone. We are beginning a brand new season, Season 5, and we are going back to one of the best. Mr. Trump is hitting the arena once again, and we are going to follow this run from top to bottom. So, without any further ado, let's get into the action right now. Game 1, it is Garrosh versus Gul'dan. Trump playing the part of Garrosh Hellscream, the warrior. Solar Finn playing the part of Gul'dan, the warlock. So, starting a brand new season of Arena Time, brand new run. Trump once again coming back to try and test his luck here in the arena. We just got through the last couple seasons of Total Biscuits running through the arena, but it is Trump's turn now once again. Eagerly looking forward to see how well he does, how far he gets. Usually does really well on the arena runs. I don't know how long this one's gonna go. Hopefully it goes the full 9, but we'll find out. Or at least the full 9 wins. So, not much to start off with. He does have the coin, but I don't know if he has really anything to coin in. Yeah, not a whole lot of options here on turn 2. He's just going to pass the turn, well, I should say on turn 1, his first turn. Alright, Frostwolf Grunt going to start things off for Solar Finn. A little 2/2 minion with Taunt. Now Trump has to make a response. End of the day, he could still always hit armor up, get a couple points of armor, protect himself against any incoming damage that might be coming courtesy of that Frostwolf Grunt. Instead, he's going to play Heroic Strike, it looks like. Yes, indeed. He's going to use it to take out that minion. So making that decision to avoid any kind of possible buff effects that would make that particular Frostwolf Grunt a little more strong or a little more durable than it has to be. Probably had to play that Heroic Strike a little earlier than he wanted to, but such is life. Argent Squire coming out now for the Warlock player. Gonna play Upgrade to pop that Divine Shield. Also armors up, so he's got now an effective 29 hit points going into turn 4. So we're looking at a turn where Finn can start to get a little more in the way of minions out there, depending on what's in his hand. He's going to play that Ironfur Grizzly, probably his only new card this turn. He's going to pass it. Not going to attack in with that Argent Squire, interestingly enough. Basically a free point of damage that wouldn't have killed his minion, and essentially it's just going to sit there for now. But in any event, looks like the Ancient Brewmaster coming out now. Strong 5/4 minion for 4. And he plays it at a point where he does not have to send another minion back into his hand, so that makes it even more worthwhile. And he does have those Inner Rage cards, so depending on how long... Well, so much for that. I was going to say depending on how long that Brewmaster survived, but it's actually not going to survive past this turn. So, now damage being dealt. And weighing, I guess a Warlock player here weighing his options, but going to pass the turn once again. Looks like he's going to come out early with that Venture Company Mercenary. And again, he's got to consider what kind of spell options Solar Finn may have that could reduce the hit points of that minion enough to allow either one or both of the current Warlock minions to take it out of play. I think that's what he's evaluating right now. He does still have 6 mana, could life tap, he's at full health. See if he gets another option. That, life tap, definitely one of my favorite hero abilities. Certainly one of the most potent in the game. Gonna play a Stranglethorn Tiger instead. 5/5 minion with stealth. And focus fire on the hero. Alright, that Ironfur Grizzly is going to fall, as well as the Argent Squire. So we're left with that Stranglethorn Tiger, but he's going to play the Kor'kron Elite and start inflicting some damage on the Warlock player. So, at this point, I'm sure the hot target is going to be that Venture Company Mercenary. Going to play Goldshire Footman and a Raid Leader, so he can theoretically bypass the minion if he wants to. That might not be a very smart move. You certainly don't want to ignore the biggest threat on the table, which is that Venture Company Mercenary, but he is. So an interesting choice. It could pay off, because he's got Garrosh, he's got Trump in a bad spot right now. But there are a lot of options here. And he can inflict a lot of damage in retaliation, but he does need to start clearing some of those minions on the field. So that's the big thing Trump's looking at right now is, obviously he's staring at 10 points of damage right now, not counting any new card draws, not counting whatever else is left in that hand, not counting anything that could spawn from life tap. So he does need to start clearing the field. Obviously that's Footman is going to fall. That is one target that has to die. Beyond that, he does have Cleave, which he could spam first. Oh, and it pays off. It actually hits the 2/2 damage minions, which is enough to neuter that Stranglethorn Tiger a little bit. He could make the even trade with the Venture Company Mercenary. Gonna play those Battle Rage cards, get a bunch of options. A lot of cards coming. And he's got to make a decision. He's going to play Inner Rage to take that guy out and start inflicting damage back to the hero. So he does a good job of clearing the field. He burns one of his Inner Rages on his opponent's minion just to kill it. So basically an offensive buff attack, which you don't get to see very often. But sometimes you get to see it in terms of like using it in conjunction with things like... okay, wow, it's Murloc time apparently right now. A very poor placement of that Direwolf. Not putting it in between anything else. But he does get Trump in a little bit of a bad position. Still a lot of minions to contend with, but it is crazy Murloc time here for our Warlock player. But yeah, as far as offensive buff play goes, one of my favorite things is when priests use buffing abilities to use Shadow Word Pain, or Shadow Word Death as a matter of fact, to take things out. Alright, so he's going to take out that wolf, and he uses Cleave to clear the field. And there is some serious damage still left on the table. So our Warlock player does finally have to life tap. Gonna play that Booty Bay Bodyguard, followed by a Murloc Tidecaller, which would have been a handy card to play before he played all those other Murlocs, but, didn't have the option. So he's going to trade the Venture Company Mercenary. I'm just going to buff that little card up to 8/4. He still is going to want to potentially consider taking out that other Murloc card, but it's not quite... I don't think it's quite the pressing concern that it already is. But I could play the Frost Elemental. It will have charge, and he can freeze it. He does have Inner Rage, which will buff it up to 10, and it will bring his opponent within 2 points of death. And I think that's... Oh, no, I'm sorry. It buffed it up a little bit further, so 1 point, and he's going to attack in to finish the game. There we go. Brilliant play, brilliant card play, brilliant strategy on the part of Trump. Using a lot of his buff cards, or some of his buff cards offensively, timing everything appropriately, and just managing what his opponent had. And shutting down every possible threat that he had. The guy is one of the best players in the game, and it shows. His constructed play is not quite as good as his arena play, so that's why he doesn't quite have the tournament results of some other folks. But it's okay, because he's still a great arena player, and it shows, and he's smart about the game. And you can watch him stream. Find the link in the description. Twitch.tv/TrumpSC. Watch him stream regularly. But that is going to do it for this episode of ShoutStone. I'll be back on Monday with the next episode of Arena Time, and I'll be back tomorrow with more Arena Time. Well, I'm not sure if I'll be back tomorrow, honestly. This weekend, I will not be around, so it might be a late episode Sunday and no episode tomorrow. Depends on how things look when I get back here later today. But anyway, point being, make sure you subscribe for daily Hearthstone updates. Make sure you follow me, Facebook and Twitter. Links are in the description. Like the video, leave a comment, favorite, all that fantastic, wonderful stuff. Then thanks again for watching, and I'll see you all next time.